There's something inside your body that no one ever taught you to listen to. It doesn't think, it doesn't speak, but it knows. It knows. It when you are safe. It knows when you are pretending. It knows when your heart is open and when it has closed itself in silence. Science calls it the vagus nerve, but the ancients had other names. They called it the breath of life, the river of spirit, the golden thread between body and soul. For centuries, this intelligence was hidden, not because it was secret, but because it was simple. We looked for the divine in temples, in books, in heavens above, never realizing that the same current ran quietly beneath our own skin. You don't have to travel to the Himalayas or meditate in a cave to feel it. It's there, in the pause between your inhales and your exhales. It's in the stillness you keep avoiding. It's the bridge between your mind and your heart, between thought and being. Let's go there. Let's enter that invisible landscape where science meets spirit, where the language of electricity becomes the language of emotion, because inside you right now, there is a living code, one that can unlock peace, heal trauma, and awaken something ancient that's been asleep for too long. The vagus code. It begins deep in the brain stem, the oldest part of your mind, the place that existed long before you had thoughts or names for things. From there, it branches out like a river delta, flowing through your throat, your lungs, your heart, your stomach. It carries signals in both directions, from the body to the brain and back again. Every heartbeat, every sigh, every shiver is part of this silent dialogue. Have you ever taken a breath so deep that you felt your shoulders drop, your eyes soften, your whole being settle? That's the vagus nerve responding, the body whispering to the mind, you're safe. And in that moment, something changes. Your heart rhythm synchronizes with your breath, your digestion activates, your immune system wakes up, your thoughts slow down. For a brief instant, you stop surviving and start living. Now imagine if that state wasn't temporary. Imagine if peace wasn't a rare visitor, but your natural home. That's what this nerve makes possible. It's not magic, it's biology, the parasympathetic system, the architecture of calm, the very mechanism monks and mystics were trying to reach when they chanted, hummed, or prayed for hours. They weren't worshipping something outside themselves. They were tuning their own instrument. Modern science is finally catching up. We now know that when the vagus activates, it releases acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that slows the heart, deepens the breath, and signals the brain that the world is safe. It also triggers oxytocin, the molecule of love and connection. That's why when you hug someone, or hear a soothing voice, or cry after holding back for too long, you feel reborn. That's the body completing a cycle. It's the sacred disguised as chemistry. And yet in our modern world, this system is constantly hijacked. Phones buzzing, screens glowing, endless noise. Our bodies rarely get a chance to feel safe. We wake up to alarms. We chase schedules. We measure worth by productivity. And beneath all that, the nervous system never stops scanning for danger. Even when we say, I'm fine, the body knows we're not. It's still holding its breath. That's why so many people live anxious, exhausted, numb, not because life is cruel, but because they've forgotten how to return home to themselves. They've forgotten how to breathe. They've forgotten how to listen. When you breathe shallowly, the vagus grows quiet. When you rush, when you argue, when you scroll endlessly, it contracts. Your body believes you are in danger, even when you're sitting in a safe room. But when you slow your breath, when you hum, when you speak gently, when you choose silence, the vagus awakens. It starts sending a new message upward. We're safe now, and that's when the body can finally begin to heal. Have you ever noticed that when you truly relax, your perspective changes, problems shrink, time expands? Suddenly you can hear things you couldn't hear before. The sound of your heartbeat, the wind outside, the stillness between sounds. That's not a coincidence. That's your perception expanding because the body is no longer bracing for impact. That's what enlightenment feels like at the cellular level. The ancients described this as expansion of consciousness. Science calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to grow new pathways. But both are describing the same miracle. The moment you stop resisting life and start synchronizing with it. You see, the vagus nerve is not a line of tissue, it's a frequency of trust. It's how the body measures whether it's safe enough to evolve. When it's active, you become creative, curious, compassionate. When it's dormant, you become defensive, reactive, afraid, and that difference shapes your entire destiny. This is what researchers now call vagal tone, the flexibility of your nervous system. High vagal tone means you can move through stress without losing balance. You bend, but you don't break. You feel deeply, but you recover quickly. It's the biology of resilience. You can train it, and the training is the simplest thing in the world. Deep, but not the kind of breath you take when rushing from task to task. The conscious kind, the breath that feels like prayer, slow, intentional. A reminder that you're not running from life, you're moving with it. Breathe in, hold, exhale. Twice as long, do it again and again. This is not meditation, it's communication. You're speaking the language your body understands, and every time you do, your vagus learns the pattern of safety again. Over time, something incredible begins to happen. You start to feel more grounded in your body. Your voice softens, your words become slower, warmer, your eyes begin to carry light again. You laugh differently, not as a defense, but as a release. You start to radiate something people can't quite explain. They say, you feel peaceful, but what they really mean is, your nervous system feels safe. And mine does too, because calm is contagious. You can't fake it. Your biology speaks louder than your words. That's why you can sense tension in a room before anyone says a thing. That's why some people's presence feels like sunlight. The vagus nerve connects us not just to ourselves, but to each other. It's the invisible web of empathy, the field that unites us through tone, rhythm, and breath. Now imagine a world where we all understood this, where we raised children who were taught how to breathe before they were taught how to compete, where therapy began with silence, not explanation, where prayer wasn't about asking for something outside, but listening to what's already within. That world isn't a fantasy, it's physiology waiting to evolve. You don't need to fix yourself to reach it, you just need to slow down enough to meet yourself, because every symptom, every anxiety, every breakdown is the body asking you, can we come home now? When you breathe deeply, you're saying yes. Yes to presence, yes to peace, yes to remembering that spirituality was never separate from biology. It was biology trying to express divinity. The mystics called it enlightenment. Science calls it coherence, but they're both describing the same phenomenon. The body remembering its natural rhythm. When your heart, your lungs, your brain, and your breath move together, you create harmony. That harmony is the sound of wholeness. In that state, you don't have to search for meaning. Meaning finds you. You don't have to force creativity. It flows through you. You don't have to beg for peace. You become it. This is the real science of surrender. When you stop controlling every breath, every outcome, every moment, and instead let life breathe through you. The body opens, the mind expands, the soul begins to sing. The vagus nerve doesn't belong to one religion or culture. It's in every human. It's the universal temple, the built-in proof that you were designed for connection. That separation was always an illusion. When you realize this, spirituality stops being abstract. It becomes embodied. You stop saying, I am a soul having a human experience, and start living as a human being who remembers they are sacred. You stop chasing enlightenment. You start exhaling. So now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stop for a moment. Take a breath, not a small one, a full one. Inhale through the nose, hold on, exhale slowly through the mouth. Feel your chest rise and fall. That's not just air, that's awareness. That's the oldest ritual in existence. Right now, the same intelligence that created stars is moving through your lungs. The same energy that shaped galaxies is reshaping your nervous system. The sacred isn't in the sky, it's in the rhythm between your heartbeat and your breath, in the vibration of your voice when you speak truth, in the stillness that appears when you stop trying to be more. VAGUS code is not a theory. It's not something to believe in. It's something to feel. Every breath, every sigh, every quiet moment is the universe reminding you that you are both scientist and spirit, human and infinite, grounded and divine. You don't need to escape the world to awaken. You just need to remember how to breathe inside it. So let's do it. Together, inhale, hold, exhale twice as long, again and again, until the noise fades, until the mind softens, until the only thing left is the pulse of life itself. That's the code, the silence after the storm, the calm beneath the chaos, the breath before creation. You are not separate from it. You are it. The body, the breath, the being, science and soul. Two sides of one eternal rhythm. And when you finally remember that, you don't find peace. You return to it.